Good morning, it's Tess, and today is tip 246. And I know I didn't get it in this morning. I started working on a work project and lost track of time. But I figured today, what I started looking at is, I've been thinking about like fundamental areas that people look at when they deal with weight loss and pointers. And something that kind of kept coming to my mind is that as bariatric patients or as people that were extremely overweight, exercise and mobility, and even as we get older, balance seems to be issues. And I kind of wondered what current articles say about this. So good morning, whoever that is. So I looked up and, oh, hi, Upendra. She found me even though I'm late today. Such a great person you are, Miss Upendra. So today I found an article in Exercise and Fitness, and it's talking about how to exercise with limited mobility. And I wanted to look at this because I can remember when I was a lot heavier that balance was an issue. I was always afraid of falling or injuring myself, or if I fell, would I hurt a wrist or hurt a leg? And so I kind of shied away from a lot of different things. And as being part of the challenge, Doc V always talks about how we need to be aware that our body may be fluctuating because weight will be shifting as we lose weight, and that we might need to see a physical therapist just to keep our balance in line and start to adjust to what our new body feels like. So I looked up an article on how to exercise with limited mobility because I was curious. I was curious about what kind of things they are thinking about and what is out there in the world right now, because we know that somebody comes up with a new idea every single day. And so this article said, oh, thank you so much, Upendra. That means a lot to me. I appreciate it very much. I do try to go before the workday, but I got started on the workday early, so I figured a few minutes on break wouldn't hurt me. And I do appreciate that it helps you, because it's about helping myself also. But what I thought was interesting is, again, as we do change our weight, our body changes and we have to be able to adjust with the new body. And this article from Exercise and Fitness, of course, the first thing it says for all of us is you always want to check with your doctor first. You always want to get their advice, and you always want to get their pointers. But they said don't let injury, disability, illness, or weight problems get in the way. There are so many tools out there that have evolved and become more useful that we can always find a tool to use. I know for myself, I walk first thing in the morning. It's actually something I so enjoy because this morning I saw about 8 bunnies. It's something that I enjoy so much. My mom is doing it with me because what she's found is that I live in a state with a lot of humidity, but in the morning, even if it's warm, the humidity isn't quite so bad, or because the temperature's down, we don't feel it as strongly. And there's something great about knowing that you got up, you got the exercise in, and you can move forward with your day. So it is part of like that conglomerate of things that I can go check, and already start my day with wins. So knowing that I exercised, knowing that I made the bed, knowing that I, meditated and I journaled and I did my pre-paving where I say positive statements to myself, this is how I want the day to go. Getting my day started on the right foot makes the middle and the end of my day seem to be so much better. Now, when it's talking about exercise and trying to deal with maybe being uncomfortable because your body's changing a lot or because you have illnesses or injuries, again, it is always check with your doctor first. But then we're talking about there are so many simple fitness tips. There are chair exercises, and there are so many ways that you can kind of make improvements on your body. It doesn't have to be strenuous, crazy amounts. It just has to be gradual, repetitive, continual, small steps, just like we know about every area of our life. They said there are still plenty of ways you can exercise, and it boosts your mood, it eases depression, it relieves stress and anxiety, it improves self-esteem, and it improves your whole outlook on life. And I'll say that's true. I think it's helped me to overcome self-worth issues, remaining active, because then it gives me hope of other things that maybe I thought I wouldn't be able to do anymore. We also know that exercise releases endorphins, and those feel-good endorphins, and we all can use those. It says, and again, I'm not medical, but they're saying that it can treat mild forms of depression because it just gets you out and gets you active. It says, while some injuries respond best to total rest, most simply require you to reevaluate your exercise routine with help from your doctor or your physical therapist. I know in the tribe, Cynthia Dales works with a lot of us. So she's also someone that people can reach out to. So if you have a disability, severe weight problem, chronic breathing condition, diabetes, arthritis, or other ongoing illnesses, you may want to think it's impossible to do something. But if you talk to your doctor and you work with your doctor, they may be able to help you find some options for things that you can do. There's yoga, there's Tai Chi, there's stretching. I know I do a lot of stretching because I tend to have a tightness in one of my legs. I injured it before a bike ride, and every once in a while now I still have to stretch it out. But over the years I've learned what works, so if it pops up, I just know what to do to release it. And that knowledge I'm grateful for that, because I think I might have been sitting on the couch not active if I hadn't learned tools to kind of overcome it. It does talk about that cardiovascular exercises are all kinds of different things: walking, running, cycling, dancing, tennis, swimming, water aerobics, and aqua jogging. What they did point out is for those of us who have struggles, and most of us have done these before, or at least I know I have, water exercises, because no matter how much you walk or no matter how much you stretch, there's like the water takes the weight off your body. So it's kind of a great tool, and it feels nice. So definitely keep that in mind after checking with your doctor. And I do know I've always liked water exercises. I'll do laps in the pool. Sometimes I'll walk laps in the pool. Sometimes I'll swim them. That was something I like to do. Walking, I walk every morning now. Flexibility and stretching, that is something I do, because if I have tightened muscles, I can stretch them and feel better. That I think is really critical as I get older, is to keep myself stretching, to keep my muscles elastic, or that they bounce back better. The next pointer they kind of talk about is you want to set yourself up for success. Number one is by talking to your medical doctor, your therapist, your healthcare provider, just to get an idea of your medical conditions and what kind of restrictions they would put on you. And they came up with a set of pointers. These are the things they say we should talk to our doctors about or our physical therapists about before we get involved in activities. And these are some great questions just to keep handy for when you have that conversation, to make sure what the best avenue is to move forward. And it says, your doctor or physical therapist can help you find a suitable exercise routine. Ask these type of questions. How much exercise can I do each day and each week? What type of exercise should I do? What exercises or activities should I avoid? And should I take medications at certain times around my exercise routine? So those were some great questions that I didn't think about, because even though I am one of those people that comes up with a list of questions when I go to the doctor, I can only come up with the questions I know about, which is why I'm one of those research people, because I don't want to self-diagnose myself, because I realize that's a big mistake. But to educate myself, it's not a bad thing. Again, same thing with exercise that is with every other part of our life. Start slow and gradual and increase. And I tended to be one who wanted to increase every day. What I've recognized is when you do that, you're chunking a big piece on, and within a month you've probably already hit maximum. You don't want to do that. Slowly add. I would say don't increase activity except for maybe once every week or every 2 weeks, because you want it to be slow and steady and long term, not chunk it up really fast and then feel overwhelmed and quit. They say make it a part of your daily life. I love getting up. I love knowing that it's already out of the way. That's part of why I like my lives in the morning too, because they're out of the way. And I tend to get busy, and when I get busy, I forget. So that's why I tend to get them out of the way. That's why I figured I'll do it on break. That way I will get back into the workday after I'm done, and I won't accidentally forget it. Because if I get busy, I sometimes forget. Stick with it. It takes about a month for a new activity to become a habit. In all the studies, I've heard people say 30 days up to 72. I kind of like what Robin Sharma says. He says 66 days. 22 days of really hard, 22 days of really messy, and then the last 22 days you're sliding into a permanent habit that feels good. And that's a good thing to do, because if you give yourself longer to overcome that change, you're more likely to stick with it long term. Expect ups and downs. There are going to be days that feel better than other, and that's okay. That's normal. Life is ups and downs, so exercise is naturally going to have ups and downs too. It says, this is the next section in this article, talked about tips for staying safe while exercising. Stop if you're feeling pain. Instantly stop, and pain is identified as discomfort, nausea, dizziness, lightheadedness, chest pain, irregular heartbeat, shortness of breath, clammy hands. Listen to your body. If you're experiencing pain, stop. I know for me, I had to learn to identify what was a sore muscle versus what was a pain. And it took me a while to understand that. So I thought this was great to kind of remind us. A pain is discomfort, nausea, dizziness, lightheadedness, chest pain, irregular heartbeat, shortness of breath, clammy hands. And that's why it's so important to talk to your doctor, because they can tell you if you have anything predisposition that could create issues, and maybe give you pointers on what to look for and what to do if you experience any of them. It says, avoid activity involving an injured body part. We all know the body likes to heal, and if we keep re-exercising that area, it never gets to heal. And then it'll eventually get angry at us. Warm up, stretch, and cool down. Many people avoid that, and I'm going to tell you it's critical. Stretching when I have a tight muscle helps me not to injure it later. So following that kind of a pattern of warm up, stretching, and cooling down, I think it just helps us to be safer, and it allows our heartbeat to get back to a normal range too. Drink plenty of water. So the bonus of becoming more active is that it will help you to get to your water levels. And like Doc V has told us, 4 liters of water, which is probably 135 to 140 ounces a day, is what he recommends. So the more you can get in, the better. And if exercise pushes you to get a little more, that's a win. Hi, Ying. So good to see you. Thank you for joining on. And then the next one is they say wear appropriate clothing. And Doc V told us a story once too about they were doing some Navy SEALs training, and somebody actually did the training with a pair of jeans on because they figured it wouldn't be that big of a deal. And then it was like, oh, never do that again, because sometimes the appropriate clothing will make you enjoy it a little bit more. And we all know we've all done that. Sometimes we've walked without, I've walked, and there I can tell when a pair of shoes needs to be replaced. And as I've gotten older, I recognize the importance. My feet are important, the same as my eyes. Any part of our bodies are important. So if you know it's time to buy new shoes, or if you know you need different clothing, invest in your health, because it'll help you on your journey. Now, the next area they kind of talked about is adding a mindfulness part to this. It says, what you want to do when you're exercising is to really focus on how your body feels as you exercise. The tightening as you lift weights, for example, not only improves your physical condition faster, but you also will have more benefits to your mood. They were talking about mental and emotional barriers, and it says many of us have these issues, and that some of the things that will help us to overcome them is, if you're going into an exercise, don't focus on where you think your weakness is that you can't do. What you want to do is concentrate on finding the things that you can do and feel good about them. So it's back to kind of like the vortex talk that Doc V says. Are you going to look at the field below you is full of garbage and things that you don't want to be a part of, or are you going to look at it as that beautiful place that you're excited to get involved in? When you put yourself in that beautiful place, it's more exciting to jump into the journey. So our mindset, or what we're thinking, does help us on the journey. So concentrate on finding the activities that make you feel good, and make sure you keep your mind in that place of feeling good, because I make better decisions when I allow myself to feel good. When I start to allow myself to feel bad, my decisions just don't support my journey. So I've had to learn to release as much of that as I can, because it is kind of connected to self-worth. I had to work on that a lot, but it was a great gift. So if it's something you need to work on, put on some affirmations, start writing journals, being thankful and grateful. That's part of our Doc V challenge, and it will just put you in a place where you'll feel good. It says the more physical challenges you face, the more creative you can get to overcome them. If you enjoy jogging or cycling, for example, but you have an injury or illness, Be prepared to try something new. You may find a new pattern, a new habit, something new that you enjoy. Be proud that you made the effort. Instead of discounting, and we all do this, instead of discounting and saying, I only lost, I only did, say, I did, I did, I did. Stop looking at what we think is the loss and recognize the wins. Forget the losses. Just recognize little win, little win, little win, and they'll start to become bigger and build momentum. That negative self-talk, that negative talk all together is just not a good thing. It says, these are some other areas they talked about. It says that if a person is self-conscious about weight, injury, or disability, it doesn't mean they have to go to a gym. You can try exercising really early in the morning, which is what I do. You can avoid crowds, you can avoid the gym, or you can go to the gym really early. If you can afford it, you can hire a personal trainer. You can walk, you can swim, you can exercise in a class. Just remembering you need to talk to your doctor or medical professional, but there are options out there. So don't feel overwhelmed by a gym full of people that have really big muscles. If that doesn't feel right for you, go early, go late, or find an alternative until you feel more confident. It says, I'm scared of injury. If you're afraid of injury, it says choose low-risk activities, walking, chair-bound exercises, and make sure you warm up or cool down so that you don't have an injury because your muscles are cold and not ready for the action. The next one it says is I can't motivate myself. And it says, in this case, you might want to look for a buddy, somebody to exercise with so that you stay engaged in the journey. I do walk with my mom in the morning. When I went to the gym, I worked with a personal trainer. And actually, she was one that she started going in at 5 a.m. And I said, I'll go in at 5 a.m. too. And she said, I'll give you 4 days. And if you're not in here on the 4th day, I'm going to start calling you. And it's funny because now I regularly am up and exercising by that time. But yes, she did have to make a couple of phone calls before I owned that change in timing. And what I'll say now is I love that change in timing because task done, check, move on. And then if something comes up in the evening, I don't have to feel guilty that I missed my workout because it's already done. It's in the books. And if something presents itself later, I can confidently and feel good about enjoying whatever it is that presents itself unexpectedly. So don't think that you can't motivate yourself. Just think that you'll do a little thing to motivate yourself. That negative thing we want to get rid of. I'm not coordinated or athletic. I used to think that. There are plenty of things you can do that don't require a lot of exercise. There are groups you can join. There are friends that will help you along the journey. I never thought I had an athletic bone in my body, and then somehow I connected with a group of people that had me riding bicycle rides, and I eventually rode one that was 300 miles making money for Make-A-Wish. So don't discount yourself. Just start small, and you never know what group of people it'll connect you to and what kind of amazing things you'll accomplish later. So keep your mind open. The future is unlimited, and you are unlimited if you keep your mind open to all opportunities. Exercise is boring. Again, there are so many options out there. I don't care if it's skipping stones. I don't care if it's skipping. If whatever it is, you can find something that you can have fun about. Maybe you just make it that you're going to hike, and the goal is that you're going to find 3 types of flowers. If you make something fun out of it, you can enjoy it. I enjoyed the bike rides because we were teasing each other and having fun, and there were always good stories. So sometimes that connection network works, and then finding something to make it fun, like can you find stones? Can you run on the beach and see if you find stones? Can you walk dogs and enjoy the antics of the dogs? There's always something you can do. So to find a little twist to make it fun. And finding different flowers, that'd be fun. Or counting bunnies. I love to count bunnies in the morning. I was so glad when I saw my bunnies again this morning because they've been kind of missing in action for the past few weeks. They talk about that if your doctor approves that you should shoot for about 150 minutes of activity, any type of level activity a week, or if you're a vigorous exerciser, 75 minutes a week, and that you can do this activity in a small increments as 10 minutes. 2 or more sessions a week of moderate or high intensity also helps to get your training activities upped a little bit. If you're having problems with your upper arm, so I had a broken arm when I was young, so sometimes that tightens up, and Over the years, I've been trained on what to do to exercise it, but if you don't know, always seek some professional advice so that you don't further injure it. There are different exercises, isometric, electromuscle, and again, these are things I don't know, so you want to check into it and look into it more. Exercise in a chair or wheelchair. My mom and I did a chair workout recently, and I know there's a lot of different ones. For a while in the bariatric community, drumming classes on those big exercise balls were big. So there's all kinds of new things to try, so be open to something fun and exciting. Cardiovascular can be done in a wheelchair or in a chair, and it's because you can get your upper arm moving and you can get your heart racing, because cardiovascular is about increasing the heart rate, so it can be done anywhere. So be open to new avenues, new friends, and new opportunities. Remember stretching. There are wheelchair sports, and there are some places where you can have, like in physical therapy, they can do water and have tools that you can hold on to in the water. So keeping all these things in mind, chair yoga, Tai Chi, no matter what your weight, no matter your medical condition, if you check with your doctor first, get their approval, get their recommendations on what you should follow, there should be something for you to enjoy. Sometimes it might be just a simple walk in nature, visiting a new place. Maybe you just have a goal of walking a certain number of steps in the summer. There are certain people that do a certain number of miles in the summer. There are certain people that like I've had this desire, and I actually bought them on clearance to have snowshoes because I want to learn to snowshoe. There are winter sports activities. There are summer sports activities. There are water activities. I've had a desire to learn tennis, so that's something I'll do at some point. Just be open and let the possibilities tickle your mind. Check it with your doctor and try something new. It might become your new love, and it might help elevate you just a little bit on your health journey. So I hope you guys find this helpful. Remember, always check with your doctor or medical professionals. Those of us in the tribe, Cynthia Dales is certified to help us with exercise and fitness, and I know she does some group activities. So always look for someone to help you. If you have a unique issue, there's always going to be somebody who wants to help you because they understand. So never give up on yourself. Remember, small baby steps, and you will start to find a life that you never dreamed was waiting for you. You guys have a beautiful day, and thank you for being here.